Good afternoon to you. We will continue with the Constitution. In the last class, we have seen various categories of observers appointed by the Election Commission. Under these categories, we have seen general observers, expenditure observers, and polling observers. Now, we will continue with the other categories of observers. The fourth one is awareness observers. They were first deployed in 2014, PT point of view important. In 16th Lok Sabha elections, again important. For the purpose of supervising the efficient and effective management of electoral process at the field level, especially the voter awareness and facilitations extended to voters. Important, remember. Then the next one is micro observers. They were deployed to observe the poll proceedings on the poll day in selected sensitive polling stations. They are chosen from central government or central PSUs. They are responsible to ensure that the instructions of Election Commission are adhered to by the polling parties and polling agents. So, they are called micro observers. Lastly, assistant expenditure observers. They are appointed in addition to expenditure observers. They are appointed for each assembly segment. What is the purpose? To ensure that all major election campaigns are videographed and complaints, if any, are promptly attended to. Very important. So, whose duty is to videograph? Assistant expenditure observers. In addition to expenditure observers. Remember. Now, let us come to election process. You know, elections for Lok Sabha and for every state assembly take place every 5 years. President can dissolve Lok Sabha and call for general elections before the end of 5 years also. Similarly, governor has the powers to dissolve assembly before 5 years and call for fresh poll. The circumstances under which this can happen, we have already examined in the earlier classes. I need not repeat again. Secondly, when the 5-year term has been completed or when the legislature is dissolved and new elections ordered, the Election Commission puts the election machinery into movement. As you know, the interval between two sessions should not be more than 6 months. So naturally, the election should be scheduled within 6 months. Normally, the Election Commission announces the schedule of elections in a press conference. You might have seen just now, Bihar elections. A few weeks, the press conference which is held few weeks before the formal process of election. The moment Election Commission has announced the schedule, the model code of conduct comes into effect. The formal process of election will start only with the notification calling upon the voters to elect the candidates. Then starts filing of nominations by the candidate, followed by scrutiny of nominations by the returning officer after the last date fixed for filing nominations. The validly nominated candidates can withdraw from the contest within 2 days from the date of scrutiny. The contesting candidates can get 2 weeks for campaign. On account of magnitude of the operations, polling is normally spread over to number of days, maybe 2 days, 3 days or 4 days, with a separate date for certain constituencies grouped together, keeping in view the sensitivity, deployment of force, etc. Once an election is completed, the counting of votes is done and the results declared by the concerned returning officers. Remember, here you should know that a person who is declared as elected as a member of parliament or member of legislative assembly by the returning officer, that person will be given a certificate of election, that he has won the election. That certificate will be given by whom? By returning officer to the person who has been elected. From this day onwards, he will get the salary. But he cannot participate in the proceedings of the house without taking oath for being an MP or MLA. So remember, there are 2 things. One is getting salary. Salary he will get when he gets the declaration of result. That certificate if he gets, from that day, that certificate is signed by the returning officer, given to the elected candidate, and from the date of certification, he will get the salary. But he can participate in the discussions, in the proceedings of the house, only when he takes the oath. There are 2 separate things. The commission compiles the list of members elected and issues a notification for the purpose of constituting the House of People or Legislative Assembly. With this, the process of election is complete. President, in the case of Lok Sabha, and governor of the concerned states, in the case of assembly, can convene the respective houses to hold the session. It is necessary for each candidate, remember, to take oath or affirmation before an officer authorized by the Election Commission. Normally, such person shall be the returning officer or assistant returning officer. However, if the candidate is in jail or under preventive detention, the superintendent of jail or the commandant of the detention center will administer oath of office. On the other hand, if the candidate is in hospital or elsewhere owing to ill health, the medical superintendent or the medical practitioner will administer the oath. Supposing the candidate is outside India, the Indian ambassador or high commissioner will administer oath. The candidate in person is required to make the oath or affirmation immediately after presenting the nomination papers. Remember, very important point. Then comes the election campaign. That is the period after filing nominations. The official campaign period is 2 weeks from the drawing up of the list of nominated candidates. The campaigning will end officially 48 hours before the closure of the poll. The model code of conduct will remain in force till 2 days after the announcement of result. Remember the timeline, very important, 48 hours, 2 days, etc. Polling is normally held on a number of different dates in different constituencies to enable deployment of security forces and effective monitoring of elections. Because you have to deploy the security forces, their convenience is also to be taken into account. After the nomination of candidate is complete, a list of competing candidates is prepared by the returning officer and the ballot papers are printed. In the ballot papers, the names of the candidates in the languages set by the Election Commission are given. The symbols allotted to each candidate is also indicated. The candidates of the recognized political parties are given party symbol. Remember, voting is by secret ballot. Number 1. Polling stations will be in public institutions like community hall or schools, etc. Number 2. Number 3, there is a polling station within 2 kilometers for every voter. So, number 3, no polling station shall have more than 1,500 voters. Number 4, each polling station opens for 8 hours. Number 5. These are all the 5 important points. Now, how the vote is exercised? On entering the polling station, the elector is checked with reference to his electoral roll. He is given a ballot paper. He votes by marking the ballot paper with a rubber stamp and the symbol of his choice against his candidate. This is done inside the screened compartment. Then he folds the ballot paper and inserts it in the common ballot box, which is kept in full view of the presiding officer and polling agents. Why this is kept in the full view? Because this will eliminate the possible fraud. Since 1998, underline, electronic voting machine was introduced instead of ballot boxes. When it was introduced? 1998. In 2003, all state elections and by-elections were held using electronic voting machine, that is EVM. Then the Commission took a historic decision to use only EVM, underline, only EVM for Lok Sabha elections in 2004, in which more than 10 lakh EVM were used. EVM is a simple electronic device for recording of votes. There are distinct advantages in the EVM. What are the distinct advantages? Number 1, this eliminates the possibility of invalid, doubtful votes. Number 2, it makes the process of counting faster. Number 2. Number 3, it reduces the quantity of paper used to a large extent, saving large number of trees and making the process eco-friendly. Number 4, most importantly, it reduces the costing of printing, in fact to the extent of nil, since only one sheet of ballot paper is required for each polling station. So with this we will end the class. We will continue with the rest of the election process in the next class. Thank you.